righty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys. Missed you guys. End of the year's coming up. Football, NBA is all kicking off. Sports are back. 2020 did not end on the 21st. If you guys thought you were going to get your superpowers with the planets aligning and all that, nah, nah, you guys are tripping. But that's besides the fact. We are about to end the year. The Lakers and the Dodgers had their best year since 1988 together, celebrating. And last night, the Lakers had their ring ceremony. We're going to talk about that. The Rams, on the other hand, they've been struggling a little bit. The Dodgers, they're in a little predicament. They got to sign some players that are free agents. And then you got the Lakers, who also had some struggles last night. And we're going to break all that down with my guest, my host, my co-host, Mike. How you doing, Mike?
What's up? Horns up. Bramley out there. Go Dodgers. Go Lakers.
Yes, sir.
What's going
Yes,
on,
sir.
Big J?
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm ready, man. It's been a while, and there's been a lot of stuff going on in LA with the world in general, pandemic, all the madness that came along with 2020. My heart goes out to the people that are watching that lost loved ones, and I'm amongst you. I lost my niece. The virus touched my family, but thank God no one else has passed away. Everyone's still with us. They've survived it, and I'm ready for everybody to get a vaccine so we could go to Dodger Stadium or go to the Staples or go to SoFi. I'm ready to go to SoFi, watch my Rams. I'm ready.
That stadium looks very nice. I mean, my God, whenever I drive down the 405 and I connect to the 105 down in Inglewood, you can see the stadium for a brief moment, and you can see the top. I think there's something on top on the roof that's welcoming the airplanes that are landing on LAX.
Right.
I just don't know what it says, but I could see letters scrolling. I just don't know what it says.
It's not only letters, but it's like they show a logo. They show like the Rams players. It's amazing. It is freaking amazing, SoFi. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait to go
I feel
back.
you. But how much do you think the tickets are going to be, though? Because they got to catch up on a lot of money they lost.
You're gonna have to mortgage your house.
Oh, and probably a kidney. You had to go over to a black market and sell a kidney to get into SoFi.
I got adult children. They're gonna take me.
Oh, they better start putting together. They better start saving for 2022 at least.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, okay. So we're happy about the Rams, the stadium. Everything's nice about it. They were looking good up until this weekend versus the Jets, and they just completely fell apart. Look, Sam Darnold's my guy. USC, fight on. We'll talk about that later. But Sam Darnold looked a little bit better than the actual Jared Goff, who's been to the Super Bowl, who has experience. And he looked more confident than Jared Goff, who's getting paid a lot of money. So what do you think happened with the loss to the Jets? Their first win, the New York Jets' first win, who were going to get the number 1 pick. And they decided to forego that for a win against the Rams.
Well, that was their Super Bowl. We could break the whole thing down and what I was afraid of, if anybody out there has been following me through my social media and my comments I've made on different pages and stuff, Ram pages, I was afraid, and it seems to happen a lot with teams that are not elite. And I hate to say that because I love my Rams, but they're not elite. To look beyond the competition. Look, we lost to the 49ers twice this year, and the 49ers are shit.
Yeah.
And I understand that's a rivalry within the division. But the Jets, they've been terrible all year. Horrible. And they look beyond them. They look to, and one thing I didn't like, they look to Seattle. And one thing I didn't like in the interview after the game was when Jared Goff said, well, the big game is next week. We got to beat Seattle. You can't think that way in the NFL. You got to, every play you should play as your last play because it could very well be your last play. And I didn't see, the passion. Although Akers looked great, like he has over the last four weeks, that kid is a great running back. He
Mm-hmm.
hits the hole fast, boom, he's right through. It's disappointing very disappointing as I was broadcasting the game live on Facebook for all my friends across the country. I have people, Ramley, that are in England, Ramley that are in the Hawaiian Islands and the Philippines, and they were
Mr.
watching the
International.
game. Yeah, they were watching the game stream through my. I think I had up to 100 and some odd people watching on the live stream, and it was disappointing. And I could see the comments and everyone. And I was saying, run the ball. And some guys are saying, hey, they ran the ball. But see, it's not. It's when you run the ball. It's not you ran the ball. It's the times in the game where you need to run the ball, and they didn't do it. And you could only make mistakes so many times before you get called out. And right now, McVay's being called out. Golf is being called out
Yeah.
for not being a leader. Look, the NFL has evolved. You look at some of the elite quarterbacks in the league, these guys are mobile. Jay, back in the day when I was a young man, when I was a boy, Warren Moon, you talk about some of these guys who were able to move. Fran Tarkenton in the 60s. You couldn't get Fran Tarkenton. He was like, you couldn't catch him. He was so like a water bug in the backfield. And they would say you can never win. Michael Vick, when Michael Vick hit the big stage, oh man, running quarterback will never survive in the NFL because he'll take too many hits. Well, that is true, but he evolved. These guys are smarter now, and then they changed the rules so you could slide and not get hit to get that big hit. So you got quarterbacks who are able to create in the backfield when play breaks down. And unfortunately, our quarterback for the Rams, Jared Goff, is not that type of quarterback.
Yeah.
He is a system, what we would call a system quarterback. Within the system, McVay has created Goff, not Goff on his own. McVay's offense. What McVay did is when he got the team, he saw what he had, and then he worked with it and made an offense that was explosive, different motions out of the same formation, all kinds of different nuances to the offensive game for Goff to have great passing yards. And if you look passes after the catch, Kupp and Woods lead the league. After they make that 5, 6, 7, 8 yard catch, they'll take off for 10 yards or so. So it's a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of moving parts. Can the Rams beat the Seattle Seahawks up in Seattle? Yes, they can. They've done it, and they have a good shot of doing it this weekend. The way I look at it, 2020, it's going to have to be one game at a time, one play at a time, one touchdown and score at a time. And that's the way it is. Akers will be out with a high ankle sprain.
Cam Akers take him out. Oh, snap. That's going to be a problem.
Playing this week. Henderson will be the running back, and Brown will get some touches. But we have to establish the run, Jay. You have to establish the run when you start the game. If not, Goff is a sitting duck.
Okay. So, would you say Jared Goff would be the option to look for a way out and would propel, if you make a trade or move Jared Goff, this would propel the Rams to a new direction where they might be more successful?
Look, we're talking there's two different things here. We got fans, what we see and what we know. You got football fans are like in any sport. You got fans who know the game, fans who are novice, and fans who just are bandwagoners because they won. Everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember when the Rams drafted Goff, there was Wentz or Goff. Those were the two.
Yeah.
That were the number 1 or 2 pick, and we went with Jared Goff because Fisher wanted Goff. Fisher thought he would be the guy that could help his offense. Well, Fisher's he sucks as a coach. He's always sucked as a coach, and when you make an investment like that and then you give him an extension and more money, it's hard to justify you trying to get rid of him or trade him. It's going to be a very sticky situation for the Rams. That you open up a new stadium. Fortunately for them, if you look at it, can you imagine if they floundered? And I said that right away. When they open that stadium, they better win because you got to fill that stadium up. Right now with COVID, they answer to really nobody but to themselves because the fans are going to be watching from home. So and like what we're doing now, they'll hear it on little people talking about it. So I don't think Jared Goff's going anywhere. I think he's going to be our quarterback for the next few years, and we're going to have to just suck it up and hopefully he could overcome his shortcomings and trust in McVay. I tell you one thing, Aaron Donald looked pissed off leaving the field.
Yeah, I seen that. I saw that. He took off his helmet and just like you could see the steam coming out of his head. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's coming to that point where now all these players are paid. They paid a lot of money for Aaron Donald, Jared Goff, and their new cornerback, their new toy. Then Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. They got some good players, but yes, I get you. It's just the mobility in the quarterback that's the league is now transitioning. Just like in the NBA, the center is no longer the main focal point in the league. Now you got centers that can shoot 3-pointers. You got centers that could stretch the floor. And this quarterback situation right now where you now got to be able to run a 4.5, 4.7 flat and be mobile is taking off and taking over the league. And Jared Goff is not fitting that narrative. And, oh, man.
He's a throwback. Jared Goff is Jim Everett.
Yeah.
And when Jim Everett was in the 80s, he was a pocket quarterback. And that was the model. A 6'5" guy standing in the pocket, making throws down the field. And then you'd have defensive that you only had a few guys that were quick that could get to the quarterback. Now every team has a couple guys that can come and get the quarterback. So absolutely. If you notice, the Rams don't throw downfield. One thing that really upset me, and a lot of Ramley on Sunday, was the 3rd down and 4, down by 3, and they're moving the ball. Akers scored a touchdown. They called it back on, I think it was on Higbee, pushing it back, blocking the back. So the Rams had the first 2 downs. They got significant yards. They were 3rd down and 4. Well, look, you're at the end of the game. You run the ball 2 times to get a first down. And twice Goff went back to pass and threw deep passes, which he hadn't done the whole game. See, that's not who they are. They don't throw down the field. They don't have that deep threat. They don't have that receiver that's going to blister the corner and the safety. That's just not who they are. So that was really upsetting. And so we got to put the Jets behind us. It's over. Can't do nothing about it. We got to beat the Seahawks Sunday. That is a must win. That is something we have to do.
Yeah.
We got to go in and slug the Seahawks in the face and get physical. Football's a physical game, man. You got to, in the trenches, offensive, defensive lines, they dominate. And our offensive line has been good all year. Without Whitworth, they got hurt, but they're going to be all right. I think the Rams have an opportunity to win this weekend. I think they should win this weekend.
They absolutely need to. As of right now, the wild card for them, their matchup is against Washington, who will most likely be without that stripper boy, the boy that got caught at the strip club. So
the quarterback.
Yeah.
But see, hey, look, Jay, nothing is. Look, they're saying, the Rams are going to go in as a wild card.
Yeah, nothing is safe. No, we're supposed to beat the 49ers.
We could drop the next 2 games.
Yeah, the Rams should have beat the 49ers. There were some teams that they should have handed the ass to the Jets and give them their 14th loss. So it's absolutely disgraceful at this point where you don't know. You're expecting them to win against the Seahawks, but the Seahawks kind of are playing a little bit better. They overtook their league back. The Rams
Saints,
took it.
The Saints are a better team. I think the Saints are a better team than Green Bay. But no,
You
nobody
got
wants to go to Green Bay and play in the frozen tundra.
yeah, Lambeau.
Nobody wants to go
Yeah.
up in Wisconsin
Mm-hmm.
in friggin' December and January and play up there.
Yeah.
It's just too damn cold, especially teams that play in a dome or warm weather football. That has been the mantra for any warm weather team
Well, that
or
pretty
any
much
team
takes
that
out the
plays in a dome.
Rams. That takes out the Saints. That takes out the Buccaneers. They're used to like 80-degree weather in
Yeah,
Florida, so that takes out the Arizona. I mean, Arizona
yeah,
doesn't even experience anything higher than what, 70 degrees.
70 degrees at
So
home.
yeah,
So you're gonna go up to Green Bay and play in
in the negative
sub-zero
20 degree.
temperatures. That's gonna be
Yeah,
tough, man.
nah. And Green Bay's got the super advantage on that too. So as of right now, do you think the Rams make the playoffs? Look, you
Do
could
I
be
think
biased
they?
and you could be honest. You could be real. You could be whatever you
Do
want.
I think they'll make the playoffs?
Okay.
They have a. I'll tell you, Vegas odds have them winning and going into the playoffs. But
Vegas
I've
also
seen
had
too
the
much.
Clippers winning it all.
Yeah, I've seen too much over the years. Look, like I said last week before the Jets game, they have to play it like it's their last friggin'. Every guy on that team has to play the game like it's the last time they're going to be on the field,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you win in football. You got in any sport, you got to put it all on the line. If you don't, if you go in there half-assed or have any doubt in yourself, then you're not going to win. So yeah, I personally I want them to win. That's my team. I love my Rams.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Do I think they're going to win? They have a great opportunity to win. They have a good chance. Is Jared Goff the quarterback to take us all the way? I don't know. I don't. I just don't know.
So
I've seen. I wish I had a crystal ball to know. This guy just doesn't see in his eyes. Your eyes tell you everything. And if
absolutely.
you look into this kid's eyes on the cameras, it doesn't look like anybody's home.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing with Cody Bellinger. That's the same thing with a lot of players. Yeah, you can
It
tell.
doesn't look
You can tell when they're just running on automatic. Yeah, yeah. So
I hope they win Sunday
they
because
it's not a hope.
that
They
would be
they need to win. They
they
need
have to
they
win. There's
yeah.
no doubt about it.
They've got this is
But
the game they've got to win because if they go to Arizona with either a tie or giving Arizona the ability to make the playoffs and overtake the oh my god, do you know how much momentum that's going to give the Cardinals? Kyler Murray, you know how much momentum mentally is going to give them? So
yeah, Tyler Murray. I don't think Tyler Murray. Our defense bottles him up.
I mean,
He can't see over the defense. We know how to beat Arizona. I'm not worried about the guy who I'm concerned about is Russell Wilson. Although
yeah,
we've handled Russell Wilson pretty good over the
yeah,
years in Seattle, that guy has a way of somehow pulling a rabbit out of his hat.
yeah.
And he's a he's a competitor. He's won a Super Bowl. He knows what it
Should
takes.
have won two, but that was a stupid, just stupid. Gotta
Yeah,
be I can't think off the top of my head a more stupid play in the history of any sport than that.
they should have what? What is it? They should have ran the
They
ball.
should have given the rock to the player who's built like a wall, who's been
That's what
running
you
players
do, man.
over. It just baffles me that we had him as a coach. We had USC had this man as a coach, and he
Yeah,
did so much for USC. Pete Carroll.
yeah.
And the dumbest thing that he ever did was deciding to throw. And Russell
Well,
Wilson didn't just out of like just leadership didn't say, "Hey, you know what? I think that's kind of dumb. We should run the rock. We should give it to the monster behind me and let him plow his way through." But
yeah.
he gave
Marcel Lynch was a great running back. So so this weekend the Rams
it's the
should
important.
establish the run
Yeah.
right away. Look, against the Jets, 3 and out. 3 and out. Okay, I understand. You're gonna go 3 and out. Well, run the ball a few times and try to establish the run.
Mm-hmm.
Play action only works to freeze the linebackers if you're able to run. If you're not able, if they know you're not running, they're not gonna move.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna fall. They're gonna go with the running back and the receivers. You got to be able to run the ball in order to free up the passing lanes. And if you notice one thing that I noticed against the Jets on Sunday, uh, these play action passes where golf through an interception. These guys are in the lanes, so the linebackers and the corners are going into the passing lanes. They know golf is running.
Yeah.
Why? He can't run. What is he going to get 3 yards and get popped and go down? So they're laying back. That's how he got intercepted. He laid back and they knew he was going to throw in this certain passing lane. Guy picked the ball off. He's lucky he didn't throw another interception. There was another interception there, and the guy dropped the ball. So, you know, we got to run the ball more, be more consistent, do something different. Don't be predictable, and that's the thing in football. From week to week, these defensive coordinators see your weakness and they exploit it. So you got to be one step ahead. And it's not like we're playing. We should have taken care of the Jets, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's over. It's done. Now we got to beat the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And we got to pick up our friggin' pants and friggin' play the game.
We need a W again. Okay, so
they run the ball.
This Sunday is going to be the most important game of the season. This is where it comes down to. It comes down to Seattle. I understand there's still one more game left against Arizona, but the important game is Seahawks. And if the Rams can't pull that W out, it's going to be very hard to get that W at Arizona and really get into the playoffs. But besides the fact, I mean, it's not even in their hands. I mean, technically, Arizona could pretty much control their destiny. If the Rams lose and Arizona wins, Arizona could control that destiny of getting into the playoffs over the Rams.
Yeah, that's
what
go. I'm saying.
So Sunday is the most important game for the Rams, and they better pull something out of their asses because it's it. That's it. I mean, everybody won a championship in LA. Everybody won a championship in LA. It's you guys now. And, well, technically the Rams would start off 2021 for the Lakers and then the Dodgers to follow suit. So it's on the Rams right now to get this Sunday going and get momentum going into the playoffs and starting 2021 right. As, here we are. We're waiting on you guys.
That's right, brother. I hear
and we're ready. And we're cool. And we're hoping we celebrate a trifecta somewhere like in March. February or March, we're celebrating all 3 championships at once. One big parade. So talking about parades, talking about trifectas, talking about championships, the Los Angeles Lakers last night celebrated their ring ceremony. Those rings are disgustingly amazing. I put some pictures out there of how they looked.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance
to look? The top comes off.
And inside are all the retired numbers.
Right.
And I think there's like a snake skin holding the numbers down and stuff like that. So those rings, look, these players have ginormous hands. Those rings looked like they were bigger than their hands. They're probably like basketballs to me and you and I, like normal people. Those rings are probably like basketball size to us. Those, oh my God, 17 gems, 17 purple gems to engrave the L, 17 titles. 95 diamonds to incorporate the 95 days they spent in the bubble. I mean, there's a snake on every single numbers, the black mamba on every single number for Kobe Bryant. There's slogan, leave a legacy. There's all these little details in that ring. Unfortunately, the Clippers last night gave the Lakers not a pounding, but they made themselves known. They made themselves known, especially Paul George, because Laker fans, Laker Nation, we've been clapping and crowning, just like beating down on Paul George every single day since they got eliminated and losing that 3-1 lead. And Paul George went off last night, and he essentially was the reason why they lost. I will give the Lakers some slack because of 3 things. Number one, they're only getting about 70 days rest from the moment they won their title to playing their first game last night. And you got to also account for all those times that they were being taken out for interviews, taken out for family meetings, taken out for contract negotiations, trades, all these little things. So in reality, they only had maybe 40 to 50 days off to enjoy just some serenity. Also, they got a hangover. They just got out of the bubble. They can't celebrate. They can't do anything. And they're used to doing all these lavish things. And they can't even go on vacation. So it's mentally draining. And also, finally, you go from getting a ring, being happy, being joyful, celebration, to now having a killer mentality, it's kind of hard to transition into that. You know, you're celebrating. Now you got to get into kill mode. It's kind of hard to just go from one thing to another. You just received a big ass ring. It's probably worth anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000, and you're celebrating. And now you got to go into I got to play now. It's kind of hard. So I'm giving the Lakers a little bit of slack. And also they only have 9 days where these new players were able to practice together. Trez, Schroeder, Marc Gasol. These guys didn't have a full off season to really mesh and talk and hang out and build some chemistry like they did with the previous team. So I'm giving them some slack for losing against the Clippers. But what are your thoughts on the game from last night?
Yeah, you're right. The hangover thing, it's very real. Uh, there's a to repeat as champions it's a hard thing
Yep.
to do.
Yep.
Very difficult. Just to win a championship. Just to win a championship is a hard thing to do. And to go back, if you think about Kobe and Shaq, those 3 championships in a row. Oh my God, they dominated, but they did have they had problems going through the season. Portland had them down in one series, so I mean, it's understandable uh, why they looked a half step slow. That's what I had said to a buddy of mine. They looked a half step slow,
Yes, they
and
did.
what it is that it's the hangover. It's they won the championship. Now they got to figure out. They got to find something to motivate them other than we are the champions and we're going to defend our championship. Last season they played for Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
They played uh, for Gigi, and they played for themselves. Obviously, they want to win for themselves, but they had they had a driving
Motivation.
force. Yeah, they had a driving force.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they're going to have to find something that's going to have to motivate them because they're expected to win. They got some really good pieces with Matthews and friggin' Gasol and Montez, and these guys are really good players. Schroeder,
Mm-hmm.
but they have, like you said, they have to find some continuity. They got to mesh. They got to start playing with each other and figuring out where you go here and how I can do this. How can I get you the ball in the place where you're comfortable? You know, LeBron and AD, they and Caruso and CP3. These guys know where to go and where to be. But now you have what I noticed last night, and I was watching the game. What Dwight Howard and gave us was a lot of energy, and Montez will give us energy.
Yeah.
But it's going to have to develop over the season. Like
Mm-hmm.
last year when we opened up the season, we lost to the Clippers. Do you remember the first game?
Yeah, it was on
And
my birthday. I'm not gonna forget that. It was exactly on my birthday. I was excited for that game too.
and they, they weren't gelling. They didn't look like they were in sync.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a little while. You got to and what you said too, a short off season. They didn't get to celebrate their championship. They didn't go on vacation. They went right back to. And if you think about LeBron, he's been what? How many finals? 10 in the last 11 years. Is that what
From
it is?
2011 to 2020. Well, he missed 1 year, so that's what, nine
9 out of the
consecutive.
last 10 years, or something like.
2011, 11
And
to
then
yeah.
you count the Olympics.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
basketball. And so it's going to take the Lakers a little time to gel. I am not too concerned at this point because I really believe in the coach and
Frank
the
Vogel.
defense. Vogel, yeah, I believe in his theory of defense. And defense, as you guys, whoever's watching, if you played basketball, if you've been a basketball player, I was a basketball player. It comes from your heart. You want to try your hardest. Defense is effort. That's all it is effort, 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 effort.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lakers will get that back to be a defensive team, and defense gives you offense. So that'll come in time, and just give it a little bit, let it marinate. I would earlier a couple weeks ago I was telling my son, I said, you know what? I don't think the Lakers will have a hot start. I think they're gonna flounder a little bit. They're gonna try to figure out how to get there. but they will figure it all. They'll figure it all out towards the middle and towards the end of the season. Is it
Mm-hmm.
72 games, right, Jay? Did they knock
Yeah.
10 games off?
Yeah.
So 72 games is a lot of games, and we will see how that plays out too, man. I'm not too thrilled about fans in the stands. Texas are going to have 10% of the fans in the stands. There will be fans in the stands in Florida and Miami. So I'm not too thrilled about them being exposed to people inside an indoor arena with COVID.
Yeah.
We already had James Harden yesterday. He was at
A strip club.
friend's event or some sort.
Supposedly friends event. Supposedly
Yeah,
friends event. My ass, he was
and
at a friends event.
without a mask,
Yeah.
defying the NBA.
Yeah.
Uh, Adam Silver should suspend him
Well,
for
earlier this
Twitter.
week with James Harden, you got to also remember he was not too thrilled to come back to Houston and practice. Rather
Well,
than going to practice with his team and getting to know his new teammates, John Wall and DeMarcus Cousin, he went out boat riding with, I believe, Gucci Mane or man, who's that other guy? Man, I forgot the other guy's name. He used to be with Nicki Minaj. But he was out jet skiing earlier this month, a couple days
yeah,
before practice at his Houston facility.
and he gained a lot of weight.
Oh, he gained a lot of weight. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I mean, he put on like 25, 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, he's not. I saw on the Jump today, they were saying, he's not a good example for the new up and coming NBA
No,
stars
he isn't. He's just
because,
a lot of scoring. He's flashy. That's all it is.
yeah, and that's not how you win a championship. And your goal, of course, when you want to get into any professional sport, you want to make your money.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're playing for the love of the game, and you're playing to win. And he's not right now. It seems to me he's just being a little bitch about the whole thing. And I want to go here, I want to go there. Well, look, you're not going to get your way. You're going to go where they tell you're going to go,
Yeah.
and that's the way it is. If you want to play in the NBA, Houston made a huge mistake by catering him to
Yep.
him at the beginning.
Yep.
And you don't cater to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Why did LeBron James come to the Lakers? Because we have a Class A organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to win. And what the Buss family did for Kobe Bryant at the end of his career, paying him those $24 million a year, showed one thing, that they take care of their players.
Absolutely.
And it's disappointing to me to hear Jerry West, the logo, that was my boyhood hero. I love Jerry West. I remember I saw the shot from half court against the Knickerbockers. I think it was in '68 or something. I was watching TV. I saw that shot go in. I was like, man, that turned my head. I was like, what the hell? He threw it from half court. And then him talking all this madness
Yeah.
about the team who made him. I mean, West by West, a book I read about Jerry West, his autobiography. He came from nothing. He had Chick Hearn used to call him Zeke from Cabin Creek. He lived in the Appalachian Mountains and they had dirt floors. And Jerry West used to practice shooting out of the peach basket. And this guy really came from nothing, but he has anger issues or something. When I was reading the book, I said, man, he could never happy. And he tells you in his book, he's never happy. He could never find happiness. And losing to the Celtics year after year really took a toll on him mentally. Yeah. So his goal was to make the Lakers a great organization, which he did. He won their first LA championship. He was on that team with Wilt, and then became a coach and became a general manager. And he made all the right moves. He got he got Magic, he got Shaq, and then, for what I believe, this is my theory, Jay. I don't know. Everybody has a theory, but my theory is that when you said Jerry, when you talk about the Lakers, you thought of West.
Yeah.
You didn't think of
Jerry
Jerry Buss. Now that's my era, old school. Guys in their 60s. When you say, "Hey, Jerry Lakers," oh, Jerry West.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think of Jerry Buss.
Yep.
Later on, I think Buss got kind of butthurt about it, and he should because he's the owner. So they let West go, you know, and this is what happens. Now West talking shit about the Lakers. It's like a bad marriage, man. I'm hurt as a fan, as a Laker fan, but I understand it. As
It's
a man,
business.
I understand
Yeah,
it.
it's
I
business.
understand where he's coming from
Mm-hmm.
because he wanted his just due,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's just acting out. You know, the thing is in social media and shit like this, whatever you say is going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So what he said, calling the Laker organization a shit show, is that what he said? That
Yeah.
shit show, you know? And I think he's being sued for 2.5 million. Is that correct?
By Johnny Wilkes, an associate of him and a friend of Kawhi Leonard. See, I already knew all this was gonna come out. I always wondered how is it that Kawhi Leonard was demanding all these things, and Jeannie Buss said no, and Toronto Raptors said no, but somehow, some way, the richest owner, I think the richest owner in all of sports, said, "Yeah, come on, Kawhi, we'll give you your contract." Like he really said yes to the Clippers and no to the Lakers. Like that's what I don't understand in that part. That got me into investigating, and it made me realize, wait, Uncle Dennis isn't a realtor. So how did Kawhi Leonard end up with a penthouse at the Ritz Carlton across the street from Staples Center? How did he end up with a house or a mansion in San Diego rather than Los Angeles or the greater Los Angeles area? How did Kawhi get seen riding on a private jet multiple times along with his family members? All these little things started adding up. Then I started realizing it's only a matter of time before we find out how Uncle Dennis is really getting paid. There's some third party industry that Steve Ballmer owns that got Dennis paid under the table, and that in turn helped out Kawhi, and it all comes out. Everything comes back together. And now with Johnny Wilkes, you're starting to realize there was more under the table works and more people involved in this, and I'm glad the way that everything's coming out. If you're Montrezl Harrell, you win the Sixth Man of the Year award. You believe you're about to get paid by the richest owner. Are you really gonna go across the street or across the hall to
Across
your
the hallway?
rival? Like, are you really gonna do that? There's got to be something scared. Then it comes out that practices were canceled. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were getting preferential treatment. You started realizing that they were getting more. So it's only a matter of time before now Paul George gets singled out as also getting extra under the table. And we're going to start seeing all these little crooked schemes coming out from Steve Ballmer.
And how do you talk shit about Doc Rivers? I mean, Doc is a hell of a coach.
Yep. Well,
You know,
that's you think he's a great coach.
well, I think he's a good coach.
He's a good coach. Yeah, I'll give you that. He's a
I,
good coach. Yeah, he's a good coach.
look, what a coach does, he can't make the players play.
Mm-hmm.
But what a good manager or in baseball, a good coach in football or basketball, is you
Love
make
it.
atmosphere
Yes.
so the players are conducive to your train of thought.
Yes.
You see something and you want them to do it, you get the players who can see your vision.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to say. See your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And Doc Rivers was able to do that for a long time, and sometimes when you get, Kawhi is a weird cat.
You're starting to see it, right? You're starting to see it, right?
He's not wild type. And Paul George is just a bitch.
Yeah, he is.
So you have these two guys who are going to be running the Clippers. Now, one thing I've noticed about the Clipper organization is that they always seem to get really good players and never get the best out of them. They had Danny Manning. You go way back, Elton Brand.
Yeah.
They had some really great players, but they weren't able to get the very best out of them for whatever reason. The owner, and now you got Ballmer, and I'm reading about Ballmer. He was a real shy kid, And you know, a lot of these rich guys, you know, they start off being real shy and introverted, and that's why he's so loud and crazy on the sidelines. It's like, well, this guy is kind of kooky, right? I mean, you see him how he cheers. He's oh, well, yeah, you know. I look at him. I said, man, that guy is. Yeah, I don't know how he got his money. Is it through computers? I don't know nothing
Well,
much about. I just know
he started off with Microsoft, and Microsoft blew up. And
Microsoft, right? Okay, so the guy is just like a nerd in a way. Probably never played any sports. See, in order to be a to get to these guys who are athletes, you got to have their mentality. You got to know what makes them tick. And for me, the Clippers just seem to always miss a step. The Lakers have always been on top because they've had people who have been former players, great players, run their organization. And right now, you know, they're in a position where they could do repeat and I think have an opportunity to win two, maybe three more championships of the next 5 years.
that's
And I'm
doable.
not being just seeing it as a Laker fan. I'm seeing it in the basketball
No,
sense.
yeah, you just got to see this team and how they're built right now, and it's just young talent. It's not just youth that you hope it's gonna develop like we did with
Yeah,
Lonzo, Ingram, Kuzma. No, these are already
they're
proven.
proven.
Exactly.
Yeah,
See, we think alike, like that.
proven.
But
But you know what? Kuzma.
he stepped up.
I've been watching Kuzma,
He stepped
and
up.
I was down on Kuzma,
Same.
but his game, he's bringing it up.
Yeah.
He's seen that extra pass.
Yeah.
He's not being the glory. You know, I mean, he's not forcing shots. I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
say, and he's being and he's maturing. You know, I mean, the photo spreads are a little bit kind of. I mean, it's a little bit too much for
Yeah.
this old man here. But you know, I could care less what he does in his personal life
Mm-hmm.
as long as he plays a hell of a basketball game.
No, yeah, I feel
And
you. I feel you. I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing the same thing. I mean, he was red carpet Kuzma for the past 2 years, and now he settles down with a new girl. He looks a little bit more mature, like you're saying. I mean, he does seem a little
right,
bit more focused, and that's what we needed. And if this is a Kuzma we're gonna get, then damn. All right.
I,
Now I'm
yeah.
glad that we kept him over Ingram, but again, he still got to prove
He's
more.
still got to prove it this year, and he's going to cost a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
If he does prove it, and the season's over,
Well, he got
it's
his
going to
contract
cost him.
extension, and the thing about him, he got his
Oh
contract.
yeah, he did get a contract.
He got his contract
extension.
extension, but he got his
Yeah.
contract to line up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So there's
That's
something
right.
there. There's something there. So we got him. We got him for a couple more
Yeah.
years. So there's that time where he could develop and still grow. There's his ceiling, like we always mention, his ceiling was way up in the clouds, but he just always maintained maybe like the hillside. He never really wanted to go above and beyond anymore. Like he got a little complacent. We all got on
Right.
his ass, and now he's maturing. Now he's maturing. So I'm glad that we're seeing this from him now. But going back to the Clippers, it's only a matter of time before you start realizing, like, yeah, the culture there is really screwed up, and the only people that are going to benefit are us. Because again, last year the disrespect that we got as Laker fans and Laker Nation, and I'm glad LeBron James said what he said when he got the trophy. Lakers organization deserves their respect. Laker fans deserve their respect. I want my damn respect. We gotta
Right.
respect. We still don't get respect, but we're at the point where we don't need you guys to acknowledge our respect. We have respect. We have 17 titles to prove otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody else that wants to come at us for that, you can't. Not even the
Can't
Celtics.
touch it. You know, I mean, analytics will tell you that the Lakers' 17 championships are more valuable and were harder to
Attain.
maintain or retain or get than the Celtics 17. Because
Mhm.
when the Celtics got their championships, there were what 8 teams in the league, and
11, 11 of the 17 titles that they got were during a time when there was only 6 to at most 12 teams in the league.
see, so I mean, come on, man, this you can't compare apples to oranges. You could say different generations or whatever, but you just can't compare it.
Yep.
Can't compare it.
So again, look, the Lakers last night they just looked tired, rusty, out of place, out of sync. I'm not gonna get on them for last night's loss. They fought back. There were some instances where they just came back and they tied it up and they were putting in work. But Paul George just took over and did his job, and I'm not gonna blame him for it because in reality, Anthony Davis is not gonna have 18 points every night. LeBron James, this was his lowest scoring opening night in his career, 22 points. He's what, like a 25 to 28 point guy?
28-point guy, yeah.
And then he only had 5 assists and 5 rebounds. That's not LeBron James. Dennis Schroeder, however, he did have 14 points, 8 assists, and 12 rebounds, almost a triple double. So Dennis Schroeder did kind of do what he does. Montrezl Harrell, 17, 10, and 3. That's what he does. That's what they do. And I'm liking what I saw across the board. 18, 22, 14, 17, 15 from Kuzma. These are numbers that are pretty much in line with what they actually do. And you look at the Clippers, you needed 26 points and 34 minutes of play from Kawhi Leonard in order to get that win. You needed 33 points and 35 minutes from Paul George to get that win. 15 from Ibaka, 11 from Zubac. And I'm noticing that Zubac's a little dirty. He's doing a little dirty things out there. I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm noticing him. Anthony Davis only played 30 minutes. LeBron James only played 28, and he like kind of sprained his ankle. I'm hoping he's fine. Everybody's saying that he's good and clear, but I'm kind of reserved. I'd rather have him not play in Christmas if he's dealing with some pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, you needed the Clippers to play every single guy every single minute and really be at their best. Whereas in the Lakers, they weren't at their best and they only lost by what, 6 points?
Yeah, we're gonna be okay. I'm not too concerned. I worry more about injury, and that's the thing you just touched on. Keeping these guys healthy.
Yeah, that's the
season.
Key.
To win the West is going to be loaded, and you don't have to win a championship to win a division.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be able to play your best ball during the tournament. And I've always felt that was true in any sport. You don't have to be. I mean, it's nice when you have fans in the stands, but that home field advantage or that home stadium advantage is no longer an issue without the fans in the stands. And we'll see how this the virus takes us into 2021 and how it's going to play out as far as these people going to games and who's going to support their teams and who's going to allow them. The red states are going to allow people in the stands. The blue states, they're more liberal. They don't want people to get sick. They don't want. LA is blowing up.
Yep.
There's no friggin' hospital beds.
Yep.
And it's just a bad state right now. But it affects our sports teams. Thank God we were able to get Dodgers and Lakers seasons last year and win championships, because those were the hardest championships, I believe. The hardest games to play without to motivate yourself. These guys have played in front of crowds cheering all their lives, and now you got to motivate yourself to figure out how to get yourself to that point. The greatest athletes in the world, really think about it.
So before we move on to the Dodgers, in the West, who do you think is going to be a problem? What team do you think is going to be a problem? There's a Suns who just added Chris Paul.
Yeah,
and they would have Devin Booker.
I don't think the Suns. Utah.
The Mavs.
The Mavs. I mean, you got 5, 6 teams that are so good. I mean, there's the Blazers, Trailblazers, Utah, the Mavs, the Suns,
Nuggets,
the Clippers,
the Nuggets.
I mean, it's gonna be a tough thing to come out of the West. The number one. It's nice to be number one seed, but will it really be all that important
if there's no fans? Yeah, there's no home field advantage. Yeah,
when you come into a home field advantage, I don't see that being too much of an issue. It all depends on how it plays out, Jay. I mean, we're all going to get vaccines hopefully in the next 6 months, but even with the vaccine, we're talking towards the end of summer, September, October. The basketball season should be over by then.
June, yeah. If there's no shutdown.
How are you gonna put people in arenas?
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very difficult to put people in an enclosed arena. Hockey, friggin' the king. Canada, even in baseball or even in basketball,
Yeah.
Toronto's not playing their games in Toronto.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing in Miami, right?
Yeah, they shipped
Aren't they
out
going
they
to be
shipped out
playing
the
somewhere in
Raptors
Florida?
to Miami. Yeah.
So they they're not going to have any fans down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucked up if you look at it realistically. It's what they've done. You know, for us to go to a state like Dallas, I mean, Texas in Dallas, they're going to have 10% of people in the stands in Dallas. I think I read somewhere like that. You know, the Lakers aren't going to have anybody. Like last night, there was nobody in the
My God, that
stadium.
would have been. Oh, damn, that
Yeah,
really sucks too.
so it's not a fair play. Even in football in the NFL, you go to Missouri, you got fans in the stands. You know, you can't have anybody in the Rams games at SoFi.
Mm-hmm.
In Vegas, the Raiders, they can't have any fans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go, you know, I mean, there's some people that are going to have a distinct advantage of having people in the stand because it gives the teams a little energy.
Yeah.
You know, when you have your hometown fans there, when they do, and I hope this is true, Jay, when they open up fans in the stands for the Dodgers, the Lakers, and the Rams and the Kings, I hope they don't let other fans from other teams in.
Trying to
So this is what
sabotage.
I'm saying. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. If the Rams say, okay, we're going to allow 25% of the stadium for fans to come and watch the Rams, they better be all Ram fans.
Mm.
Nobody from any other team flying over from New York or friggin' Denver or Texas or wherever and coming into our stadium because they're not going to have enough fans, you know, to begin with to give them all that much cheering.
It'll be kind of hard to regulate that.
Well,
Let's just
why not
assume.
just have the season ticket holders attend?
I mean, yeah, you could, but then season ticket holders don't go to every single game, so they might want to sell that to a third party, put it in a third party, or sell it to a friend, family member, someone who isn't a fan of that team.
Well,
And
they're not true fans.
yeah,
See, that's what I'm saying. You know that you got season ticket holders should have, you know, and the organizations know who are true.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, they do.
The
But
organizations know who are true.
it's just hard to regulate that
I
at
could
that
name
point.
you 10 fans or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 fans right now who I know who are true Ram fans that are season ticket holders that will go to the game.
Yeah,
You know? And
but
Dodger fans as well, and Laker fans.
yeah,
So that's how it should be, but it's not how it should be. It's not going to happen. You're
Mm.
right. They're going to have people sneak in, but you should have the majority, at least 75% of the tickets that are sold to these places that are going to allow fans should be.
2021 is gonna work out. I don't think by 2021 we'll have fans in stands, and it's gonna be kind of weird waiting till 2022 to raise a banner or unveil the trophies and stuff like that with fans officially there. It's gonna be weird. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but also the parade, like, are we still gonna be motivated? Let's say the Dodgers and the Lakers lose out next season, and they let fans do a parade in 2022. Are we gonna be motivated to go celebrate 2020
You know, I
championship?
would be. If you know, I would go and celebrate my team, but you know, that's where the line is drawn with who are real fans and who aren't real
Yeah.
fans. I think the baseball has the best shot of putting fans in the stand.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but then you saw how
In Los Angeles.
how the World Series was ran. It was a shit show. It was a shit show. And talking about the World Series, let's talk about, man, he's probably top 10 important Dodgers to me in history, and that's Justin Turner. I mean, he's meant so much for this organization. He's done so much for just the community. LA raised, Dodger fan, lived his dream, became a Dodger, and won a title with his team. And negotiations are so kind of slow with him. The last thing that I heard was Dave Roberts spoke with him. Nothing to do with free agency. It was just to follow up and check up, see how he's doing. And, like a friend would check up on a friend. And Dave Roberts wants him. Like he just didn't hold back, and he said he wants to selfishly bring back Justin Turner hold on to him as much as he can, and I'm hoping for the same. It's not just that he's a fan favorite; he's done so much on and off the field, and that play that he had against the Atlanta Braves in Game 7, where it was just a heads up play, tagging out the runner trying to go to home and then turning around and getting the double play. For all the people watching on Facebook, and I'm playing it right now, Corey Seager gets the tag out at third, and that's pretty much the game winner right there, because the next inning they go on the rally. But Justin Turner's done a lot, and I'm hoping they do bring him back. Dave Roberts kind of hinted that they do have an offer for him, and they gave him an offer, and Justin Turner didn't like it so much. But at the same time, like, you got to do what you got to bring him back. And as it stands right now, I don't think MLB is going to bring back the designated hitter next season. So it's kind of hard to have him out there if he's already kind of injury prone, but he still is very capable of performing at third base. Then again, the Dodgers are connected to Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu, Trevor Story. Ooh. There's a lot of players that the Dodgers right now are connected to.
LeMahieu.
LeMahieu. But my priority is Justin Turner. Then there's Jock Peterson, Kike Hernandez, all these other free agents, Alex Wood. Like, cool, yes. Let's see what happens with them. But Justin Turner even Dave Roberts said, it's priority, top of the wish list for Christmas. So that is priority number one, Justin Turner, bringing him back and making sure that he's here to experience it on the field this time, a World Series title. Run it back with him. Run it back with him. But for you, what are your thoughts on Justin Turner?
Well, let me ask you this, Jay. Can you name me a Dodger who's won 2 LA Dodger World Series titles?
Who's won 2? Sandy Koufax, Jim Gilliam, who's on today's date he was
Jimmy Gilliam. Jimmy Gilliam.
Junior Gilliam.
Yeah, I have his rookie card up here.
He's today's the day that he got selected as Rookie of the Year in 1951. Jim Gilliam. Who else has won back-to-back? What, Steve Garvey maybe?
No, Garvey was on the 81 team, and then he didn't win. He didn't win in 88. Fernando.
Well, that was my
Fernando got a ring, but he didn't play because he was injured in '88.
So then I'm gonna go. So then there's probably Drysdale, the MVP catcher. Fuck. Oh my God. This is Roy Campanella, another one of my favorites.
Campanella, yeah. But but Roy Campanella was in Brooklyn. I'm talking about L.A. So there's very few. What I'm trying to say, there's very few LA Dodgers.
I'm also gonna give Clayton Kershaw for 2017. I'm also gonna give it to Alex Wood 2017. I'm gonna give it to Justin Turner. They won it in 2017. No one can tell me otherwise.
I want to too, but
no one can tell me otherwise. 2017 is the Dodgers. So whoever was on that team and on this team, back-to-back titles. There, I said it. I said what I said.
So here's the deal. If Justin Turner signs a deal with the Dodgers and he wins another ring, he will go down as one of the greatest LA Dodgers in history.
Easy.
For all he's done.
Yeah, easy.
And how he created himself from the Mets and coming to the Dodgers.
Orioles, actually, technically the Orioles. The Orioles drafted him in 2009. Then he went on to the Mets. Imagine being a Mets fan. You see Justin Turner, what he's done throughout the years, and you just realize, like, oh, shit. David Wright was on the verge of retiring, and we had this MVP caliber third baseman sitting on the wings, and we decided to just drop him. That's bonehead
the
move.
Variables that are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's 36 years old.
Yeah.
He signs a 3-year contract. By the time he's done, he's 39.
40.
He has hamstring issues.
Yeah.
He's had hamstring issues.
Yeah.
Right. So, but he's a great hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He would have to give the Dodgers a hometown discount. He's going to have to figure out, do I want what his legacy is going to be? Do I want to go to friggin' Toronto or some obscure city and get the money? Or do I want to stay in LA and win another championship and secure my probably Cooperstown?
Well, I mean, yeah,
could be Cooperstown.
Yeah.
So there's the difference. He knows that we all want him back here. Now the other thing is, where does he fit in the mix? The Dodgers are interchangeable. They got guys that are interchangeable. Play second, play third. You know, Turner could probably play third another year. Then he'll probably go to first base. You could put Max Muncy at third base. Then you get DJ LeMahieu or Nolan Ariado, and you put him at third, and Mayhew at third. So there's a lot of things that could happen. Um, I would like to see him back in a Dodger uniform.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But he would have to take a discount. It'd have to be on a discount.
Yeah.
He's not going to get a big deal from the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, he's not. And I think that's where the confliction is with him. Like, he wants to come back, badly wants to come back. He'll even go as far as doing the discount, like you're mentioning. But I think the Dodgers are just, I don't want to say like, like in a fucked up way, but maybe they're lowballing him. Like, hey, we're trying to.
Well, they are, because, look, MLB lost 40% of their revenue. Every team lost 40%, almost half of their revenue, because no fans in the stands.
Yep.
And that's how they make their money. Although the Dodgers are in a unique position, they signed a $10 billion contract with Spectrum Sports a few years ago. So the Dodgers have money. They have the revenue. I mean, they're losing money. They're not bleeding like some of these small market teams. And where does MLB go? Some of these small market teams are not going to be competitive because they're not going to be able to pay the players to come to their ball club.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't there any movement with the free agents?
Yeah. Trevor Bauer's still out there.
Because
DJ LeMahieu.
There's no money.
Yeah.
No one wants to commit. No one wants to commit big dollars to any of these players because they don't know what the future holds as far as the revenues that are going to come in to the ball club. It's very, MLB is in an impasse. You might see some guys not get signed, but like Kiki Hernandez said, he wants a 1-year deal because he feels he's better than what's going to be offered to him. After 1 year, maybe it'll open up and they'll start making their monies, and then he's young enough, so maybe he'll get a better deal down the road.
That makes sense.
So Turner is 36.
Mm-hmm.
He can't just sign a 1-year deal and hope. That's why he wants a 3-year deal. And he said he wants a 3-year deal. I'm thinking the Dodgers are offering him 2 years and a team option for the third. That's what I think. That's what's going on. And I think that's what's on the table, and with less money. And he doesn't want that. So, today, as we speak, he's in Wisconsin.
For the Green Bay game?
No, he's in an RV with his wife, traveling the country. He was on Intentional Talk earlier today. Said goodbye to Chris Rose. They MLB. This is how bad MLB is right now with Major League Baseball. They canceled Intentional Talk. It's one of their flagship shows because Chris Rose's contract is up, and they didn't want to sign him. I guess either he was asking for too much money or wanted similar to what he got, and they're saying no, we're not making. Major League Baseball's not making that kind of money anymore. So it's not only affecting the teams, it's affecting the talent, and it's affecting MLB Network. So it's a sticky situation as far as it. But here's the unique thing about the Dodgers: we have some of the best farm systems, and we have some great players that are coming up. So look who you could plug in at third base, even though we don't make a move. We're still very competitive. And then I read some crazy stuff about trading with the Cubs.
For Chris Bryant?
Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant's overrated. He just had one good year.
I'm not a Bryant fan. I'm TJ LeMahieu. I love that guy. That guy's a great player.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Nolan Ariano, that guy's a great player too. So, but how's the money going to pan out? Are they going to have enough money? 40% revenue across the board. At one point, $1.5 billion Major League Baseball teams lost
Ouch.
last year.
Ouch.
$1.5 billion the league lost last year. The teams. It's crazy.
And there was a
And it,
lot of minor league teams that were wiped out. Like they had affiliates in the majors and they were just wiped out
wiped
this
out,
year. So
right?
there was teams that didn't pick up their minor league affiliates because, obligations, contractual things. And you mentioned the Dodgers farm system is deep. There was a Rule 5 draft a couple of weeks ago, and the Dodgers lost 8 players. They gained 2,
Right.
but they lost 8. And they weren't big superstar and potential caliber names. There were some impactful names in there, but the fact that other teams snatched up some of the Dodgers farm players is telling that other teams are aware of what the Dodgers are capable of and what they have in store. And if the Dodgers do not offer whatever it takes for Justin Turner to come back, they don't go after DJ LeMahieu and they don't trade for Arenado, who at this time, the Dodgers are trying to get Arenado, but the Rockies are insisting
They
that
don't want. They don't
they're
want
not,
to trade him.
yeah, they don't want to trade him to the Dodgers.
No, not in the division.
Yeah, so they don't want to. They would have to include a third party and then snatch him off from that other team in order to get Arenado to the Dodgers. But it ain't happening directly with the Rockies, no matter who they offer. The other
Right.
option that the Dodgers have is Cody Hose, who is already being mentioned to come up somewhere around April or May next year, and everybody's talking a lot about him, including
Yeah, they're
Brusdar
talking about.
Graterol. When they were in that alternate side with Tony Gonsolin, they all kept mentioning how good Cody Hose was. So they have options at third base, but not really that great options if you don't bring back Justin Turner and have the safety net of Cody Hose. If you bring Arenado in here, it doesn't hurt so much if we lose Justin Turner, but you still want someone that could hold the DH in case they do decide to have the DH next year. So there's options out there, but it's just hard right now with them. I didn't even know 1.5 billion. That's a lot of money.
Yep.
That's a lot of
They
money.
lost a lot of money, Major League Baseball.
And I don't see fans
the
in the
teams.
stands anytime soon, so it's going to be some more money that's being lost next season. Maybe by midsummer, by the All-Star break, maybe there's fans.
Yeah, the Dodgers will put about 20% in the stands.
That's cool. Tickets are going to be expensive, but something.
Very expensive.
It's going to be something.
More so than ever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's if you want to see your team, and then there'll be social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
There'll still be the mask wearing, all that will still be in play.
Yeah.
But I would love, and if you're for whatever reason, Turner, you watching this broadcast, I would love for you to come back to the Dodgers.
We all would love.
You would go down as one of the greatest of all time, Justin Turner.
There's absolutely no one that would not want Justin Turner back come with the Dodgers. I mean, love you to death, my guy. Love you to death. Remember in 2017 where we just rallied and he had the most votes in history for All-Star? I mean,
Right.
you could tell, like, no matter what, if we could all pitch in $1 to have you back, I would do it. I would definitely throw in some $10 in there.
3 years is, I think that's the sticking point. I think the Dodgers would give him 2 years guaranteed,
Yeah.
third year team option. But 3 years, that I don't see them sticking their neck out that far.
Yeah,
Because
same.
but Kenley Jansen. Let's talk Kenley Jansen.
Let's go.
I don't see him coming back and being what he was,
No.
as a closer. And he's more of a middle guy now, maybe give you a few innings if you keep him on the roster.
Yeah.
And no one's going to want to trade for him. The whole league sees what he has now. He was a great Dodger. Kenley, thank you for your years of service. You got your ring. And, during that stretch in the World Series, a lot of people were reaching out to him saying, look, man, tell Roberts not to put you in. I even wrote him myself, said, look, man, you gave us some great years. Tell Roberts not to put you in. You get that ring, so that'll solidify your greatness. And he got that ring. God bless him. But he will come off the books in a year. The Dodgers will have some money in a couple of years. He had a great year, but he was healthy, and he hadn't been healthy though. That was his knock. He wasn't always healthy. But Corey Seager, we're gonna have to pay him in a couple of years, and he's a very serviceable shortstop. He makes good plays. He's very consistent, and picking up a shortstop. You know,
I mean, Trevor Story. That's where Trevor Story is an interesting topic. DJ LeMahieu.
Mayhew. I mean, there's a lot of different variables. The Dodgers have a lot of options. One thing they do have is a lot of friggin' talent.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers are stacked.
Shot comes off the books. And then David Price, who's looking for suitors available.
I heard Freeman gave Price a ring. Is that true?
Oh, that sucks. I wouldn't give him.
I think there was a rumor that Andrew Freeman wanted to give Price a ring.
Damn.
He didn't deserve no damn ring. He didn't play.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. And he had no. I honestly, I don't know what David Price was about this season, but to give him a ring, I don't know. That's a little too much.
Yeah, I think so. That's a reach, Andrew Freeman, but he has a relationship with him.
Oh, because of Tampa Bay when he was playing Tampa Bay. I get it. I see that.
So,
I see that point. But come on, there's other players that didn't play that should get a ring. I would go as far as giving Yasiel Puig and who else? Rich Hill, Ryu, like those guys from 2000 rings. Like, yo, you guys go robbed.
What do you think about the Angels and the new general manager?
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know what direction they know what to do. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing. Joe Madden is, I think, overrated. It just proves otherwise. Ohtani, he's just a walking injury. Mike Trout, he's starting to show signs of wear and tear and frustration, but he's the one that signed that contract, so that's on him.
Well, he's done.
Yeah, he's been done. He's been done for the past like 2 years, yet they still have him around. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Because he has signed that contract.
Yeah.
He's gonna play till he's 100.
I thought he already was 100. But yeah, I don't know about the Angels. I have no trust in them. Like,
the American League West is wide open.
It is, and I'm glad everything that's happening to Houston right now. You got the Rockets, who are just in shambles. You got the Astros, who are now the shit stain of the sports world. George Springer, he's not. I don't think he's gonna come back. I don't think they're gonna.
One of the Mets. They say the Mets want him.
There you go. And then Verlander, he's not going to be available till next season. Not this season that's coming up, but the year after because of Tommy John. Greinke, I mean, he's just out of it.
He's done.
Altuve, Correa, like all these guys that cheated, they were exposed as untalented trash. So I'm happy Houston is finally getting that karma. And it's only going to get worse. I'm very, very excited with them. So the West is open, but I'm giving it to the A's. Even though they collapsed in the playoffs. They collapsed in the playoffs, really, but I think I'm giving it to the A's. I would go A's to run the West. They're young, they're talented, they're capable of winning. And believe me, look, it's only a matter of time before we find out that the Astros started cheating again, but in the postseason this season. It's only a matter of time before we find out. I was right about the Clippers. I was right about all the incidents that were happening with the Astros, all the cheating scandals and everything. I gathered my facts as well, along with John Boy and Ken Rosenthal. I gathered all those facts, and I was right about the Astros. So it's only a matter of time before something comes out, because it's kind of fishy that all these guys were hitting close to the Mendoza line, and then they go full Babe Ruth in the postseason. So it's only a matter of time.
That's it, Jay.
Yeah, the Angels, I don't know. I'm not too interested in them. But what about you? Why'd you bring up the Angels?
Well, they got a new general manager,
mm-hmm.
and they're really trying to get some pitching, and which they have none. And there's a lot of Angel fans in Southern California.
Yeah.
I mean, it cracks me up is that there's 6 teams. What, 6 teams here? I mean, they're
in LA.
We got we got the Dodgers and the Angels, right? I mean, and then the Lakers and the Clippers,
the Kings,
and the Rams and the Chargers, and the Kings and the Ducks.
The Ducks actually don't even claim Los Angeles, and they're closer to LA than the Angels are.
Yeah, well, the Angels wanted to claim Los Angeles because market.
Yeah.
So,
then you also got the
Chargers.
Galaxy, and you also got the LAFC.
Yep.
The Sparks.
So there's a lot of sports going on, and but other than the big three, I call them the Holy Trinity,
Mm-hmm.
the Dodgers, the Lakers, and the Rams. There are other teams that are, they're trying to get a piece of the market in Los Angeles, and it got to be tough on these guys because they don't have the cachet as the Dodgers, the Lakers, and the Rams. And I say the Rams because, like you had posted that on this date in '51, the Rams won the championship, NFL, the first, the first professional championship in Los Angeles.
Oh, they were
The
the
Los
first.
Angeles Rams.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the Kings weren't even around till the late 70s.
Right.
Geez, yeah, the Dodgers didn't
The
come in
Rams,
until
the first professional
by
team.
7 years. By 7 years, the Dodgers came in '58, and then they
Yeah,
won. Oh, 9 years, 8 years, 8 years. I'm sorry, the Dodgers won in
yeah,
'59.
59.
Mm-hmm.
So the first professional team to win, a sports team to win in Los Angeles, were the Los Angeles Rams in 1951.
That is
And
crazy.
so this is on this date. So, I mean, there's history. You know, you know, to be a Charger, Angel, Clipper fan, you must you must really like to lose a lot. I mean, hopefully your personal life is a lot better than your choices in sports team. But I know a couple guys are like that who like the Angels, Chargers,
They're more
Angel
mellow. They
Chargers,
don't. They don't. They don't really.
the
They're not really
Clippers.
shit talkers. Those people that are Angel fans. Well, actually, Angel fans are
Oh
shit
no, there
talkers.
are there
Yeah.
there are Angel fans that are shit
Yeah.
talkers. Believe it.
The Clipper fans, the real Clipper fans, the ones that didn't jump on Lob City, the ones that didn't jump on the Kawhi and Paul George bandwagon, the real ones, they're chill, they're mellow. It's the organization that's a shithole. That's a real shit show. Those are the ones that put up those billboards. See, honestly, to be 100% with you, took the Warriors to a game 7.
Right,
They,
Lob City.
no, not Lob City. It was right after Chris Paul, before Paul George. There was that little gap where it was Patrick Beverly, Montrezl Harrell, Danilo Gallinari. They had some good players. It was just a deep team. There was no superstar in there. It was just a deep, talented team. And they go take the Warriors to 7. So they were a rough and tumble team. Then you had Kawhi and Paul George. Steve Ballmer gets a little ballsy, and they start talking all that shit with the billboards, with the charity drives, handing out backpacks. Kawhi Leonard saying all those things. Then Paul George, all that like, oh my, it was just so much bullshit coming out of Paul George's mouth that it got to a point where shut the fuck up. You were a Laker fan. There's pictures of you as a kid with Laker jerseys and gear, and you in the Pacers organization saying that you really admired the Lakers organization. And now you're saying that you never thought about being a Laker? Yeah, so that's where my hatred comes in for the Clippers. And then my hatred even like went to another level when Jerry West came out and called us a shit show. That's when I was like, okay, you guys really
Yeah,
manipulated
West blew it, man. I'm really upset at Jerry West. I don't see, he bit the hand that fed him all
Yep.
those years,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's a damn shame. He's an old man, and he'll die soon because he's an old man. I mean, a very very old man, and I don't want him to be remembered for that shit. There's a goddamn statue of him in front of Staples Center, talking that madness about the team that gave him everything.
Yeah,
He would not have anything if it wasn't for the Lakers.
yeah,
So, even though I think he had a personal grudge with Jerry Buss, he should be grateful and move on. But the guy definitely has issues, you know. He definitely has issues, and all I could say is that the Lakers won the 2020 championship. LeBron and AD and everything else is history, and we'll move on, and hopefully we'll go back to back with both the Lakers and the Dodgers. And that would be very, very special if we could do that. Oh shit!
yeah,
I'm telling
yeah.
you,
At this
the Rams.
point, it's not
The
a
Rams are
matter.
the Rams. The Rams, they let me down a lot of years. You know, I hear a lot of shit from St. Louis Ram fans saying, "Oh, they only won here in St. Louis." Blah blah blah. No, they won in '51. Get your shit straight.
Mm.
If you're gonna talk shit, know what you're talking about. The Los Angeles Rams won the NFL championship.
Yeah.
Still counts as a championship.
Yeah, it does. It does because the Green Bay Packers, and I didn't know this, but the Green Bay Packers, like Green Bay is quote unquote title town. And
Right.
I questioned it, like why title town? Los Angeles has gang more titles. New York, Boston, they got more titles than Green Bay. But then it's because Green Bay itself, by itself, one team has, I think they have 13 titles by themselves. So it's like, yeah, but you guys are no longer title town. Like, you guys haven't won a title in a minute. The entire state of Milwaukee is behind everybody else. And if you really want to talk about titles, it's not you guys.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't know that about Green Bay.
Title town is a football analogy because of the Green Bay Packers when they won all those NFL championships.
I didn't even know that. That when I found that out, I was flabbergasted. Like, what? That was weird. That was a weird thing to say though. Title town, and then find out that it is. But I guess I'm taking it as Green Bay is holding on for dear life to that name, Title Town, when in reality, you know, the real Title Town is New York. Sadly to say, New York is the real title town.
Well, they got all those baseball titles.
It's basically just that, yeah. Because the Knicks, they only have like one or two titles. Right. The Mets, maybe one or two titles as well. The Rangers, a couple. I mean, it really is just 27 straight from the Yankees.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Damn Yankees.
Yeah, those damn Yankees. Those damn bastard Yankees. But we're getting up there. We're getting up there.
That's it, Jay.
We're right behind Boston.
Brother. Keep the faith.
Yeah, yeah. So my only thing right now is health and making sure that the Lakers really take care of LeBron and Anthony Davis, because that's
they got to monitor their minutes. They got to don't run them to the ground, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Real quick, I wanted to talk about the crosstown rivalry. Let me turn on my light real quick. The USC UCLA game, which was up there in games of the year or games of ever for USC and UCLA. I think the number one game ever for USC is going to be Penn State in the Rose Bowl 2017. That game was just ridiculously amazing. But the USC game, UCLA game went back and forth. I was talking so much crap. I mean, like, damn, I had so many people just on me from UCLA from all the trash talking I was doing. But yeah, UCLA came to play and they almost had it. Good thing for Kurt Warner though. Kurt Warner teaching Keaton Slovis how to play football and how to be a quarterback. He maintained his composure, did work. And then these receivers at USC has Amon-Ra St. Brown, who had the final catch to put them up. Tyler Vaughns, Drake London. These guys, I mean, USC has a bright future, and they just signed a couple of more top of the nation players. So USC, I think, is back. Unfortunately, they lost to the Ducks, but that game was just out of whack. The Ducks
were 3 games in how many days they played? They didn't have time to rest. SC.
I think it was like 5 days. Like it was like 5 days from the UCLA game to the Ducks game, and the Ducks weren't even supposed to be there.
Not enough time to prepare for an opponent.
Yeah.
SC football is always going to be an issue with the national rankings. And it's just because of the Pac-12, and that's just the way it is. But as far as the rivalry, crosstown rivalry, looks like SC will be able to hold their heads high this year. I was a big SC football fan for many years because the Rams were gone and we didn't have football in LA.
Yeah.
I would follow the USC team more so than the UCLA team. I'm a UCLA basketball guy. See, I don't take one. Here's my theory. I didn't I did not attend USC, nor did I attend UCLA.
Same.
Yeah, I went to Cal State LA.
Oh, okay. You have something.
So I mean, so the passion that the crosstown rivalry runs deep within the alum.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this year, USC is a better team, and UCLA, they're going to have to just wait another year. Chip Kelly has his hands full with UCLA, and Clay Helton. Uh, there's a lot of debate on is he the guy to lead this team into the next level. I heard a lot of madness about his play calling, but I like that kid Nelson. Nelson, is that his name?
Who, the
The
quarterback?
receiver? No, who's the receiver?
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyler
No,
Vaughns, Drake
no,
London.
London.
Okay.
I
I think
like
he's a
that.
tight end. I think he's a tight end.
But he could be a receiver.
Yeah.
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 He's really good. I like him. And Slovis, we'll see how he pans out, where he will go. It's tough. Quarterbacks, the transition from college into the pros, it's not that easy. And if you're like on the fence, being really great to transition to the pros, although Jared Goff went from the number one pick, it was a thin year for quarterbacks, and it was bad for the Rams because we didn't we had a Jeff Fisher coaching us, and he couldn't see what was ahead of him. So what we had, he didn't look into the future, and I didn't like Fisher as a coach anyway. So it kind of put us in a bad situation with golf. But as far as the rivalry go, it was a great game. I enjoyed it, and hopefully, where is SC playing in what bowl game are they?
No, they decided to not play in a bowl game. They at even if they had won against the Ducks, they would have had a 49% chance of being picked for the college football playoffs, which I think is like stupid ridiculous. I
Yeah,
understand there was only 6 games for the Pac-12 and for them to, but 6-0 is one thing. BYU, honestly, BYU has been putting on a clinic. I don't know if you gotten a chance to look at them. They're 11-1, and they put on a clinic, and they're ranked number 13 at best. They should have been in a bowl game, but instead, the teams that they put on there, I mean, you can't go wrong with Alabama. You can't go wrong with Georgia. You kind of could go wrong with Georgia. But some of those teams that do deserve to go on the playoffs, you realize they need to expand the playoffs, like at least to 8 teams.
They got to go to at least 16 or 8 teams,
eight,
right?
Eight for starters.
Yeah, at least 8.
Yeah, or if not 12. But yeah, you got to expand the playoffs.
They're not playing the Rose Bowl, right? They're playing it somewhere else.
No, is it the Rose Bowl? I think they're playing in Pasadena.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl's not going to be played.
Okay.
It's going to be in Texas.
Oh, okay. I think they were just gonna play one playoff game at the Rose Bowl, like at the Pasadena Rose Bowl, but not
they're
significant.
They're not even doing that, Jay. I think they shut it down.
Oh wow. Okay. So there you go. This year, but yeah, this gives more reason. Like there's teams out there that were left off the playoff that do make a case for an appearance in the playoffs, and that's why they need to expand the playoffs. So, and I don't know how the committee works because sometimes you look at it and a team will lose, like Alabama, who is obviously the committee's darlings. Like they love Alabama for some reason.
They can lose 3 games and still be in it.
Yeah, yeah. Like they'll drop from 1 to 2.
Right.
Like what kind of shit is that? Then you got a team like USC who will lose 1 game and go undefeated for the rest of the games, and they'll
get a look.
Yeah, they'll drop to 20th.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Yeah, no, it isn't. It isn't. So this is my case for expansion on the playoff, which I don't think I'm out of line for that one. I mean, there's teams out there that
I think eventually within the next 5 to 6 years, it'll progress to an 8-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that because of COVID, there's not a lot of college football. It's been put together, mishmashed. Everybody's playing different. I mean, you can't really the champion in college football. It's not Are you going to call him a champion? I mean, there's not even enough
Everybody,
leagues.
everybody calls
It's
every
all
team that wins a
screwed up,
championship
man. Notre
an
Dame is,
asterisk.
I mean, a huge asterisk of the college football scene this year.
Yeah.
So I think that in order to take the black eye from college football this year, they'll expand the playoffs in the next few years.
At least
Look for
experiment with
that.
it. Experiment with it. Because I used to
Yeah, you
love the
look for that.
BCS Bowl.
You
I
can
used to
see it
love,
happening.
for some reason, I used to love just the name BCS Bowl. Like it just meant like it was significant. Now it's like college playoffs. Like how is it a playoff? It's just a mini tournament. That's all it really is. Like a tiny tournament.
So
But
what are you doing for Christmas, Jay? Staying at home with your family?
I work on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, staying at home. Probably gonna go visit my dad because it's his birthday. He's gonna be 79 years old, so I'm gonna go celebrate with him and give him his present. I don't even know what I'm gonna get him. What are you doing? What are you and the family doing?
Staying home. My wife and I and my son, we're staying home. The kids are going to come and visit. We're going to visit from a distance. We're not going to be in the same household.
Damn,
We're
that
just going to
sucks.
try to, I mean, it's just that's the way it has to be. My grandchildren, we're going to give them their gifts and we're going to stay away. I want to be around next year so we could have a big friggin' party and get together and gather. But this year, I want to stay COVID free. I don't even want to try to fight the virus. People are giving up. They're like, oh, if I live, I'll fight it. More people are living through it, and I'm not giving it that chance. I'm gonna stay away and may try to stay healthy.
I feel
So
you.
that's what I'm gonna do.
The other day, I was driving to get some food with my wife, and I told her, man, what I would give to be in traffic right now. Like that's how desperate I am to be like normal again, to have everything back to normal, to be stuck in traffic. Oh my god, I used to hate traffic, but now it's like I wouldn't mind seeing some traffic jams right now and be stuck in it with normality everywhere. Being able to go to Disneyland, being able to go to games, parties, barbecues.
Yeah, the human contact, just to speak to a stranger, to smile, to say hello, another fan, say go Dodgers, go Ram, high five, all that human contact is missed, and I understand it, uh, but we have to keep on persevering. We
Yeah,
got to keep on fighting for the ones we love,
absolutely.
and that's the way it has to be. And you know, uh, there are fans out there that miss. Hey, I miss going to Ram games and barbecuing and going to Dodger games and seeing other Dodger fans. And you know, the Ramley, when the Rams moved back in 15, I started the OGLA Ram fan page, and people would recognize me at the games. Hey, aren't you Mike? Yeah, hey, go Rams, and we would talk, and it was a lot of fun, and just to experience the camaraderie. But now that is gone, and I miss being around the people who are Ram fans, people who are Dodger fans,
Yeah.
Laker fans. I miss that, and I know I'm not the only one. So my message to everybody out there watching: just hold on. We're going to get back to normal. It's just going to take a little time, and uh, there's this old story of the turtle and the hare, right?
Yeah.
And the hare runs real fast. Get to, but the turtle will get there eventually, and but he'll be safe. And
Hmm.
be the turtle. You'll be all right. Take time to find other things to occupy your time. And this is one thing I like to do with you, Jay. You have a blessed holiday, brother.
Thank you. You as well. You as well. You and the family. Make sure you guys are safe and well. Say hi to the kids. Hopefully everybody's healthy and good. And the wife. Take care of the wife. Make sure
Oh
she's
yeah,
healthy as well. Did you get her something nice? Did you get her something nice for Christmas?
I I get her. I remember I've been married 35
Yeah.
years. So over the 35 years, you get her jewelry, diamonds, jewels, earrings, necklaces, and now we kind of laugh and we enjoy the little things. Uh, I got her some gifts, that are personal stuff, but the stuff we enjoy is like what we got today. My grandson in Texas made this little arts and crafts thing with leaves and press, and it says "I love you to the moon and back." And we opened it up, and and we were like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And it's funny. I told these little things from our grandchildren, art stuff. It's personal, more important than anything I could buy or they could buy me. I'd rather have something like that from my grandchildren now at this age than because I could buy me whatever I want.
Yeah.
I could buy her, she could buy whatever she wants. It's the things that are arts and crafts stuff that mean a lot more to us as older people now as a grandparent. So yeah, the gift I got from my grandson Luke. Thank you, Luke, in Texas. Thank you, Mia, for sending that gift. It meant a lot to Joanne and I.
That's good. That's good. That's good to hear. All right, so we'll hopefully do a show next week. Talk about our
And by
gifts
then, Justin Turner would have signed.
as a gift for LA, as a gift for all of us Dodger fans. All right, Mike. Before we close it off, why don't you let everybody know where you can catch you?
Well, you can catch me on Twitter at OGLA Ram Fan, and I see people who write me on there. Thank you for keeping in touch. On Instagram, OGLA Ram Fan. On Facebook, Mike Pugrad, not Michael, because that's my son, Mike Pugrad. And I wish everybody happy holiday, Merry Christmas. Stay safe, wear a mask, and respect your elders.
Yes, sir. And everybody out there, go check out, if you guys have TikTok, go check out 60 Second Sports. That's the page where I just drop some videos out there, retro, new info. I'll talk about history. I'll talk about anything sports related. Try to do it in 60 seconds or less. So everybody out there, go check out Mike and go check out me on TikTok. And we'll definitely catch you guys next week, hopefully with Justin Turner as a Dodger. Rams.
And the Rams win.
Let's go, Rams, and get that W. Get us going into the playoffs. Get us going into 2021. Started with a championship with LA Rams. So how about that? With that being said, thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody, for was out there. And we appreciate you guys. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Be safe. Be healthy. Hope you get everything that you wanted on your wish list, including health. And I'll catch you guys next week.
Peace out.